Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To the honorable and those whom I respected, good morning. May all of us are in a good condition to be in here, ultimately upon God's permission. My name is Ananda Wisawitri with student registration number 2110106002221, and this is my research regarding illocutionary acts in selected documents of family crisis calls by true 911 calls. In the first section, I will discuss the background of my study in pragmatics, focusing on speech act theory by J.L. Austin in 1962 and developed by J.R. Searle in 1969. This theory, crucial for understanding context-dependent language use, is essential in fields like emergency communication. Central to this theory are illocutionary acts defined by Searle as the minimal contact units of human linguistic communication and categorized into assertives, directives, commissives, expressive, and declarations. Analyzing illocutionary acts show how language achieves specific communicative goals, with context playing as a key role in interpretation. Applied to forensic linguistics, speech act theory offers insight into crisis calls and emergency communications. It helps interpret hidden intentions in complex scenarios, highlighting challenges in emergency interactions. For instance, a victim might call emergency services while a perpetrator poses as a family member. Balancing the need to alert dispatchers while concealing the communication is one of a challenge. Next up are the statements of problem of the study. First, what are the types of illocutionary acts found in selected documents of family crisis calls by true 911 calls? Second, what are the functions of each type of illocutionary acts found in selected documents of family crisis calls by true 911 calls? This study also has its scope and limitations, which are pragmatics, especially in illocutionary acts, selected documents of family crisis calls by true 911 calls YouTube videos. Moreover, to prevent the discussion of being broader, the selected data were taken from incidents surrounding violence and murder that occurred in family settings in the United States between 2016 to 2018. By considering the statements of problems, the objectives of the study are formulated as to discover types of illocutionary acts used by the caller and the officer in selected documents of family crisis calls by true 911 calls, as well as to elucidate the functions of each type. Last but not least are the functions of the study. These functions are divided into theoretical function and practical function. Theoretical function, to begin with, is enhancing individuals' knowledge regarding pragmatic theories. Meanwhile, this study has significant practical implications for both psychology and forensic linguistics, which is improving communication in crisis situations. Related Studies is written to clarify the novelty of the research conducted by addressing the gaps found in the previous studies. The previous studies in question namely are, first, an analysis of illocutionary acts in spoken dialogues in English textbook by Desra Wibowo Kusumo and Distya Kusumawardhani in 2019. Second, illocutionary speech act analysis in Tom Cruise's interview by Hausa et al. In 2020, and analysis of illocutionary acts in Joe Biden's victory speech regarding United States election by Zainuddin and Sri Supiah in 2024. Where these studies are valuable, they are limited in scope and methodology, often relying on descriptive qualitative methods with some use of quantitative data to analyze the types and functions of illocutionary acts. However, these studies do not thoroughly address the dynamic nature of illocutionary acts across diverse and critical real-world scenarios, such as emergencies. This leaves a research gap in understanding the practical implications and variations of illocutionary acts in high-risk environments. Therefore, the study is conducted to provide deeper insight into communication effectiveness in family critical incidents. As for the literary review included in the study will be described as follows. Pragmatic considers factors such as the speaker's intentions, the listener's background knowledge, and the situational context in which the communication takes place. According to Yule 2010, speech act, when they are expressed, they change into locutionary act, which is the sentence itself, illocutionary act, or the purpose behind the words, while the perlocutionary act means effect of the words have on the listeners. Illocutionary act as the performance of an act in saying something, as opposed to the act of simply saying something. Next is crisis calls, which are made to emergency numbers like 911 and involve urgent scenarios such as medical emergencies, accidents, crimes, or any other incidents posing immediate danger to individuals or public safety, according to Garcia 2017. Communication strategies, which are planned ways to share information effectively. These strategies help people choose the right methods, tools, and messages to achieve their communication goals. In the last section of Chapter 2, we have theoretical framework. By utilizing Searle's theory in his book A Classification of Illocutionary Acts written in 1976, it is found to be useful and suitable for analyzing the types and functions of illocutionary acts in the selected object, which is the 911 emergency call recordings on critical incidents happened to family in the US from year 2016 to 2018. Now we have come to the chapter 3 of the study. In conducting the study of analyzing illocutionary acts in family crisis calls, Creswell's framework of qualitative research is utilized. As for the data source, this study uses family crisis call recordings from the True 911 Calls YouTube channel as its data source. To keep the study focused, only recordings from 2016 to 2018 were selected. The study uses audiovisual materials as a data collection method, which Creswell recommends for qualitative research. The data collection in this study is non-participatory and it is done through note-taking. The analysis focuses on identifying and understanding the illocutionary acts in these calls. By applying Searle's theories to the crisis call recordings, it becomes possible to answer the main questions of the study. The description of research methodology concludes my presentation for today, and I am grateful for those who listen and pay attention through all the discussion. This is Ananda Wisawitri. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.